Hello, good afternoon, sir. My name is Darren Wu, and today I'll be presenting my project, the mastermind project, to you. Okay, let's begin. So, for the introduction, I'm gonna explain what the objective of the game, and also what is it about. So, the objective of this project is to make an on-screen version of the board game called Mastermind. And Mastermind is a code-breaking game for two players. It was invented by Mordecai Merowitz in the 1970s. And so I'm gonna take you through my source code for a while so you could understand all the names and everything. I'm gonna introduce you the names of the list and everything. So as you can see here, this is the list, and this is the list to store all the colors that are available for picking. And the name of this is called my list. So this is all the colors that are available. So B stands for blue, R stands for red, P stands for pink, Y stands for yellow, green, the G stands for green, W stands for white, O stands for orange, and V stands for violet. And then this is color choices. This is the name of a list as well. So this is actually the list for the colors that the program chose from the start to be compared to the colors that the user chose that the user will choose later. So the name of this is called color choices. And then this is called user list. So this is the list for storing the colors that the user choose. So now I'm going to go through the slides to explain to you what the code is about. So how to play. The user will have to enter 4 colors from a list of colors that is provided to them. The program will then tell how many colors the player got in the correct place and the correct colors but in the wrong place compared to the colors that the computer chose. The program will continue to ask the user to choose the colors again until the player got all the colors correct in the correct place. And as you can see in this picture, if the user gets all the correct color in the correct places, the user will be congratulated with a message that says he won the game. The number of tries that the user took will also be shown, as you can see right here. It took him 4 tries in this example. And how did I design the user menu? So the design menu is designed by many user-defined functions. It was created to ask the user to enter the colors that the user wants to choose. Each user input is defined by name. For example, as you can see in this picture, the first color that the user choose will be given the name color 1. Second color will be color 2, third color will be color 3, fourth color will be color 4. And so everything will be turned to lowercase, even though if the user enter an uppercase, which makes the program case insensitive. So the user can enter either an uppercase character or a lowercase character. Anything will be fine. So while loops were used to continually ask the user to enter the color again if the user enters anything invalid or that is not list. As you can see in this picture, the first input value is G, which is in my list. Okay, it's fine. Then we will move on to ask the user to enter the second color, and the user entered Y. Okay, since Y is in the list, it will continue to ask the user for the next color. So, but when the program prompted the user to enter the third color, the user accidentally entered the number 1, which is an integer value and not a string. Therefore, it will ask the user to enter the third color again. And then the user decided to enter the value H, which is a string value, but as you can see, it is not within the list. So it will continue to ask the user to enter for the third color again, and it will continually do so until the user entered the correct value. That's within the list. So how did I apply lists? A list was created to store the colors that the user and the computer will be able to pick from. So this, as you can see just now, I was explaining here, yeah, this is all the colors that was available for picking. And so all the colors that the user chose will be stored in a list called users list. And as you can see here, so this is the code that stores all the user input. So U is equals to the first color that the user chose, as you can see. And this code block actually works, this code section, because I return the value of color 1 to the user function. So therefore I can just call the user function, and then I can store it into a value. So in this case I store it in UKNJ, and so all these are stored into a list called users list. How did I generate randomized values? So first, in order to generate randomized values, I need to import the library called random, and therefore as you can see in this picture, it is imported. And then what I did after that, because I needed the program to pick random values from the list, that this column by list, these are all the colors that were available for picking. Okay, so what this code does, it color choices, this is the name of the list that to store all the colors that the program chose. So random dot choices were used to pick random colors from the list. And the reason why k equals 4 is because I want the program to pick only 4 colors from the list. And random dot choices were used also because it allows the computer to pick a color more than one. So for example, the program could actually pick, let's say for example, PYGG. So that's 2G, that's 2 green. And therefore, random dot choices were used. As you can see, these two for loops and these if and elif statements is actually under this while loop. So all these coding processes are actually under this while loop. How and why I applied decision making and iterative process. So while loop is used to count how many tries the user has made. For this part, as you can see. So if the users list is not equals to the color choices list, you will therefore enter the loop. And as you can see, CTR equals to CTR plus 1 is used to count how many tries the user will make. And for this part, this for loop is actually within the while loop. So for this part, for loop with a range of 0 to 4 is used because there are 4 colors in the list. The if statement here is used to find out how many colors are correct and in the correct place. So as you can see, if users list with an index of I is equals to color choices with an index of I, if both of them are equal, the value x, which is initialized as 0, will be plus 1. So every time this loop goes, if users list with an index of I is equals to color choices list with an index of I is equals, then x will plus 1. And the reason why the index I here is used is because every single time the loop repeats itself, I want both indexes of both lists to increase by 1. Therefore, you will compare the same place of both lists. Therefore, I can find out how many colors are correct and also in the correct place. And else, if it's not, if this condition is not met, then you will just continue. Therefore, you will keep on continuing the loop until the range is met. So for this again, which is also in this while loop, for count in range 0 to 4 is used as the range of 0 to 4 is used because there are 4 colors in the list. The if statement here is used to find out how many colors are correct but in the wrong place. So as long as the color in the users list is in the color choices list, the y value which is initialized as 0 will plus 1. If this condition is not met, you just continue. So you just continue and nothing will happen, and then the loop will therefore continue 4 times. And so here, if x is smaller than 4 and x is not equal to 0, if this condition is met, the program will print the amount of colors they got right but in the wrong place and right in the correct place. It will then ask the user to input the 4 colors again to try again. It then stores the value in a list called users list for comparison later. An elif statement is used to see if the condition x is equals to 0, sorry, not x, y is equals to 0. Sorry, this is a typo. If y is equal to 0, if it's equals to 0, you will print a message that says none of the color matches. You will then ask the user to input the 4 colors again. Then it will store the colors into a list called users list. And each statement here is used to see if all the colors are correct and in the correct place. If this condition is met, means all the colors that the user chose is the same as all the colors that the program chose and is in the correct place, means it fit perfectly, you will print the message you want. You're the mastermind. And it will also print the amount of tries that the user took. So how do I apply user-defined functions? So four defined user functions were created to prompt the user to input the colors that the user wanted to choose. As you can see here, each user-defined function has a while loop to ask the user to enter the color again if the user enters anything invalid such as an integer or the color that is not in the list, as I've explained earlier. And then the value for each user-defined function is then returned, as also I've explained earlier. So conclusion and future improvement. I've learned how to think more logically and out of the box. I've learned how to utilize the Python language properly, and I would like to improve on my efficiency on the use of the language Python. So that's all for today. Thank you for listening.